My people, what's going on? We got to talk about this NFL deal. They're thinking about extending the regular season by 2 games. You'd see 18 regular season games instead of 16. Good news, huh? More football! Yay! Not so fast. We got to consider the negative side of this. I'm going to be Debbie Downer here for a second. Now, before I go into my spiel, let me just say this. I love the NFL. I'm the guy who can watch the Lions and the Browns duke it out at the end of the season with 3 combined wins and be perfectly happy. That's me. So this has nothing to do with me not wanting to see as much NFL action as humanly possible. With that said, let's consider the downside here real quick. First off, injuries. That's the most obvious one, right? When you're talking about that type of abuse, the body can only take so much. The NFL season is a grind. When you're talking about that much banging throughout the course of a season, you're going to see a lot more injuries. You're going to see a lot more injuries to big-name players. No one wants to see that heading into the playoffs. And not just short-term injuries. You got to think about long-term effects. When you're talking about that type of abuse, season after season after season, you're going to see careers cut short. That's not blowing anything out of proportion. You also have to consider quality of play at the end of the season. Last year, you saw a number of teams rest their guys gearing up for the playoffs. You saw teams like the Colts and the Saints and the Cardinals rest their guys. The Bengals rested their guys on Sunday Night Football and lost 37-0 against the Jets. No one wants to see that. It's bad football. You're going to see a lot more of that if we had more games. And who can blame teams for resting their players when the season is that long and you're gearing up for the playoffs? And another reason, this isn't as big, but the numbers. We know right now that a 2,000-yard rushing season is a big deal. If you extend the season, that changes everything. Now all of a sudden we got to do this complex algebra and trigonometry. If Tom Brady's 50 touchdown pass season is surpassed, which it would be sooner than later, we got to, well, is this more impressive? 18 versus 16 games? Well, how many pass attempts for each? It just gets crazy there. So I'm not in favor of this. Obviously, injuries, short and long term, that's the biggest reason why. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be foaming at the mouth. I'm not going to be going crazy. Oh, the NFL extended the season. Why'd they do this? This is terrible. I'm not saying I would be like that. I'm just saying consider the downside. Because quite frankly, there is a downside. I'm Brian Noe, and that's a no-brainer.